Alright, I guess we're going live now. You can see it's quite overcast and grim looking. I believe that's the haze. I don't know if that's left over from the fire. It's gray, so it's not so much the fire. And there. Let us do the intro. That's coffee. Coffee with the epic beard and Dave. We're gonna make this one a short one. It's about 9:45. I am sweaty. I have to go home and get on Facebook and post my quote for the day. I didn't post one yesterday, and I had a couple in mind by Abraham Lincoln. You know, like not everything you hear or see on the internet may be true, and I've got to post, make an important post out there, you know, just because it needs to be done. Let's just say that, you know, it's something that is quite meaningful to me. But other than that, after a breakfast of mochaca and coffee and orange juice, I'm ready. I need to, like I said, I need to go home and get that done on Facebook, and I need to get home and get in the shower and take another cool shower, and I need to then look at maybe laying down a little bit, because I didn't sleep very well at all last night, and then which I don't really. And then of course we've got some things to do for today. Today's kind of a special day. So other than that, how is everyone? I hope you are all fine. Just a quick something. The other day I posted something that was really, really interesting, and I tagged a friend of mine, Fritz Harmon, in it, and it was kind of did a little bit backwards, but it was the rebuilding of an antique, vintage, pulley-driven, belt-driven wood planer shaper, and like from 1890. I think that they made them between 1880 something or 1890 something to 1910, 1915 or something like that. And this is when heavy industrial machinery like mills, lathes, saws, this machine and others were driven by either water or big steam locomotives in the back, and they had an overhead pulley system. Yeah, to me that's kind of interesting. But the reason I came across it, I noticed that I was watching some videos, and there's this guy Keith Ruckert, with this old machine shop, or vintage machine shop, I forget what it is, and he does these videos of rebuilding some of the old equipment, and really old or more modern, and he works in a machine shop. He works in this machine shop of a railroad museum, so a lot of what he does is handwork. He does hand lathe work and mill work, and basically he's turning handles, what you say. He's not doing CNC work. He has had some done, but the museum and whatever, the shop that's set up is not really a CNC shop. Because for one, they're not doing a lot of heavy work. They're doing or production work. They're doing a lot of onesie, twosie stuff, or making a piece of tooling or whatever. And which got me into it, because he had to make these very that were he was going to use as dams or blocked because they were pouring bearings. They were going to, in the old days, the Model Ts had them. They used what were called poured Babbitt bearings, and Babbitt is a material that's still used in bearings, especially in the automotive world. It's on a coating of the inside of the shell bearing, but Babbitt is a mixture of tin or lead with, good morning y'all, and tin or lead, alloy or a malite or something like that, and maybe copper and whatever this third one is, and stuff melts real easy, you know, because it's like mostly tin or lead, and so you can pour them, and he had to put them on, and he poured them half and half, bottom half and the top half, and they last for a while, believe it or not, but they have to be shaped, and you have to pour them, and they have to cool, and there's a procedure for doing it the old way. And that's the interesting thing when you read this, you see what these guys did back then, because a lot of the things that this guy is doing is monitor or a result of old technology. So in order to maintain the technology, they have to do things the old way, and they have to make it the old way. And of course, you can get away with using a hand lathe or hardage lathe or whatever, or Bridgeport. But of course, there's a lot of stuff that they use that is old machinery that isn't used anymore, like arbor mills, and something I've just noticed a guy he's rebuilding one, is a shaper. Interesting piece of machinery. To watch it work is crazy. And then, you know, like surface grinding and stuff like that. So, and matter of fact, I've watched a few videos on hand scraping. But that's a whole other ballgame. We won't get into that. But yeah, so I posted this, and especially for my friend Fritz, because I thought he would really, really enjoy that, seeing that work done in practice still today by, of course, older people. But in one of them, this Rucker guy is making a safe. He's making restoring an old Victor safe, and he needed these brass knobs made for the top and bottom of the hinges on the safe. And believe it or not, the best way to have done that was CNC because of the intricate shape. And so a guy from California, I think he was, young kid, or Arizona, watches his videos, believe it or not, and he made them for it. And the kid went on, you gotta watch it. If you ever go to his Rutgers website or YouTube channel, you can find this video of the kid making them on a CNC. But he talks about how even though he's young and people kind of put down the young guys because everything's either CNC and CAD, but he really, really enjoys watching those videos, and he's learning more. He's taking a course and learning more how to use hand machinery the old-fashioned way. You know, you got to give that to him. He was very respectful about it. He was very open about it. And he was very, respectful and honest, I think is the word for it, because he talked about, you know, the skills involved with doing things with a hand machinery and figuring it all out. Oh, there's a nice thumbs up from somebody. So you know, if you can check out some of those. It was something I just got into. I used to do machine work and stuff. I started in automotive and worked my way to aerospace, and I even set up and ran CNCs for a while. And I did some grinding and some honing in aerospace and in automotive, and I did some other things. And I really, I worked lathes and mills, you know? But I really enjoy watching people make chip, you know, sling chip. And there's some guys out there with some interesting videos that you may want to check. People kind of doing things the old way, and different project. There's a guy he's really interesting. He's the first one I came across. His name is Lyle, and he's an older, a much older gentleman, and he is Mr. Pete 222, or you can find him under Tublicane, or again look up Mr. Pete 222. And he was a former high school machine shop instructor, a machinist. He worked for Caterpillar and a few other companies, but he became a machine shop instructor. So a lot of things he does is he shows some of the projects he's working on, but he also does videos and kind of a learning video of some of the high school projects that he used to have the kids make that incorporated many skills, you know, mills, lathes, and grinding or whatever, and like a vise or whatever, and trying to teach these kids about, you know, measuring and geometry of the part and different aspects of it. I mean, you look at something and some words that might be foreign to you are parallelism, squareness, concentricity, you know, and how to check those and what they are and their importance. And when you're doing, if you're, you know, many of the machines or whatever we have today and the technology we have today, some of it's very important. I worked at a shop in the 80s that was working on the Sergeant York and had a contract with Ford and with Hughes, and some stuff for the gun, but mostly for Hughes we had a gimbal for the laser sight and the laser sight mount, and there was a little slotted hole in the bottom of this plate, and you talk about something on interesting point. It's called a datum. It's where a point on a part or whatever, where all your dimensions flow from and all your other criteria, your data flows from. And on this little part, there was this little 62 thousandths of an inch hole or slot that was about a little over 16th or more long, and it would have 16th radius, and it was a 16th wide, and it was in the bottom of the plate, and everything was plus or minus 0.2 of a thousandth. That's it's the fourth decimal place, and all the important stuff, the most important stuff for setting the other side arm, and for it was the parallelism, the concentricity, the squareness, all generated from that slot and had to be maintained plus or minus 0.2 of a thousandths. And so it was a critical dimension, it was a critical part on the spot on the part. And everything was steady from it. It was the birthplace of the part, I guess, besides the overall outside dimensions of the aluminum forging. So you'd have to see the part to really appreciate it. But there was supposed to be two arms, and one arm had to be bolted and pinned and bolted on and whatever. And every time we did something to the bigger half that already had the arm and the base and everything else, a lot of times it had to go back over to the surface grinders or whatever to be re-squared up. So again, squareness, concentricity, parallelism, all of it stemmed from that slot. It was crazy. Crazy. Anyways, I want to keep this short, so I'm going to. There's some gentlemen coming up for their church Bible study breakfast. So with that, we're going to say happy trails, y'all, and have a good day. So we're going to push.